Hey guys, OG Albino here, and as many of you know, power creep is the single biggest problem in competitive singles Pokemon. Each coming generation, it seems like the Pokemon introduced just get stronger and stronger, leaving the older, lesser Pokemon to languish in the background, never seeing the competitive light again. Because of this, I decided to make this series, in which I take some forgotten and unfortunately bad Pokemon that you all suggest to me in the comments, hint, suggest some more in the comments, please, go, thanks, and bring them up to speed so that they can once again occupy a competitive niche. This series is therefore aptly called Fixing Your Favorites. If you guys enjoy this episode of Fixing Your Favorites, be sure to drop a like on the video as well as subscribe to the channel, and be sure to comment as well. We are currently doing a giveaway for a copy of Scarlet and Violet if you comment and subscribe to the channel. So go ahead and, drop a comment and add yourself in to get, put into the giveaway. Yeah, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump on into it. First up, we have a Pokemon that got royally screwed over in Flygon. The fact that this thing didn't get a Mega Evolution due to Artist Block is a crime. When we have Pokemon that are straight up competitive titans like Garchomp and Zygarde, it's really tough seeing Flygon sit awkwardly in the back of the class. Let's fix that up. My idea for Flygon is to make it much different from the physical attacking Chomp and Zygarde. Even with the large buff, it likely won't be as good as these two. Instead, we will be making it a special attacker. Now, despite its bug-like features, I won't be changing Flygon's type to Bug Dragon, as Dragon Ground is objectively better. I will be giving it some bug-like features and aspects though. First off, we're actually going to drop Flygon's base 100 attack to 80 attack. I know this is a nerf, but it's to give more room for more stats elsewhere. We will then be buffing its special attack to a whopping base 120. This, along with Stab, Ground, and Dragon, as well as Fire-type coverage, gives Flygon nearly perfect coverage overall. In fact, there's not a single Pokemon that resists or is immune to these three attacking types. On top of this, we will be buffing Flygon's HP, Defense, and Special Defense by 10 base points each. This will allow Flygon's niche of having reliable recovery and roost even more pronounced, allowing it to function much more fatly, if that's actually a word, in a ton of matchups. Lastly, despite not being a bug, we will be giving Big Bad Flygon Quiver Dance, allowing it to come through and sweep teams with increased bulk and firepower. These distinctions from Garchomp and Zygarde could make Flygon a bona fide top tier threat. Now we have a Pokemon that by all rights should be great. I mean, it has no weaknesses. That Pokemon is Eelektross, of course. The pure electric typing with Levitate just sounds so cool, and it has some incredible offensive coverage as well. The issue with our slithery friend is its stats. Due to its lack of recovery, it tends to get worn down and taken out very quickly, and it doesn't have the firepower to do many meaningful damage. Therefore, we'll start with its stats. We're going to start by adding 20 to both of the Eel's defense and special defense, bringing them up to 100 each. This will allow it to take many more hits without immediately crumbling with Rocks Up. Then we'll add 10 to its special attack, bringing it to 115 alongside its attack. In most instances, Eelektross' superior special coverage is much preferred, so a little bit more firepower would be greatly appreciated. Lastly, I thought adding both Parabolic Charge and Calm Mind to its arsenal would be greatly appreciated. Parabolic Charge is essentially an electric-type Giga Drain, but just a bit weaker, making this nothing crazy OP. It would make sense thematically to give Eel more pseudo-recovery alongside Giga Drain and Drain Punch. Calm Mind would be great too, considering it gets Coil. Having a way to boost both its physical attack and defense and its special attack and defense is awesome. Also, if Relicanth can learn Calm Mind, you can't tell me that Eelektross isn't allowed to get it. Yes! Relicanth gets Calm Mind. Next up is truly the GOAT of competitive Pokemon. Gogoat. Get it? Because it's a goat, and goat means the greatest of all time, and it's actually goat, so like... Jokes aside, this is actually a Pokemon I always seem to forget about, and that's honestly due to its mediocrity. It has all the tools in its move pool to be a solid bulky grass. Where it falls short is in its stats and ability. We'll start with its stats. Gogoat actually has a very large base 123 HP stat. It also has a solid Spadef stat in 81. Where it falls flat is in its defense, which is a poultry base 62. I personally like my grass types to actually resist Earthquake, so we're going to buff that up by 20 to base 82. On top of this, we're going to be giving Gogoat a great new ability over the useless Grass Pelt, and Stamina. I did some extensive research and found that goats have great stamina in the real world, so it makes sense. Source? Trust me, bro. We'd also give it a much more usable speed tier in 75. This will let Gogoat function as an incredible physical wall alongside reliable recovery and Milk Drink. It can also function as a solid bulk up threat with Earthquake coverage as well. While we didn't really break Gogoat or make him OP, these buffs give him a nice niche and a reason to choose him over the other plethora of grass types in the format. Next up is a personal favorite of mine, but is admittedly super forgettable. Dodrio. It was just recently added to Pokemon Unite as well. but from my limited knowledge of that game, I hear it's pretty bad there as well. Let's at least try and fix him up in the main series of games. Dodrio is meant to play as a hit-and-run, strong, physical attacker. Unfortunately, his lackluster move pool doesn't really allow for this type of playstyle. One of the biggest tools it's missing is U-turn, allowing it to get a free damaging pivot move on the incoming switch-ins and get into a teammate that can threaten said switch-in. So first, we'll be giving it that. Next up for its move pool, I'd love to give it close combat, like its fellow normal flying type in Staraptor. This would give it solid fighting coverage to hit steals and rocks, now that jump kick was cut as a move in Generation 8. High jump kick works as well and makes honestly more sense thematically, but the risk of missing for 10 more base power is a bit iffy to me. Next up, we will be tweaking its abilities, as they all kind of suck right now. My idea for Dodrio is actually a brand new ability, which I will call Fight or Flight. This new ability will raise Dodrio's attack by 1 whenever it is brought below half health, essentially functioning as a physical version of Berserk. This will help Dodrio grab even more instant power after getting chipped down by an incoming attack. Lastly, I would propose just a slight speed and attack buff to Dodrio's base stats, increasing them to 115 base each. More power is always great, and the new base 115 speed tier allows it to outpace the plethora of offensive threats at 110 base speed. These proposed additions to Dodrio's arsenal take it from a forgettable Gen 1 bird to a legitimate offensive threat that is worth considering over threats even like Staraptor and Galarian Zapdos. Our last fix of the day will come in another one of my favorites, Big Probopass. Rock Steel is a pretty abysmal defensive typing, and Probo isn't really known for its speed or offense. First up, to fix its defensive typing, we'll actually be replacing its hidden ability, Sand Force, with Levitate. First off, it's literally floating, and secondly, this would really help Probo's defensive viability, allowing it to dodge its debilitating 4x ground weakness. It's really hard to be good defensively if you're 4x weak to arguably one of the most common typings in competitive Pokemon. Next up, we'll be buffing Probo's stats a bit. We'll buff its HP to 70, just giving it a bit more bulk. Next, we'll be moving its attack from Poultry base 55 to base 75, matching its special attack. This lets it use its physical move pool just as well as its special one. Lastly, we'll buff Mr. Mustache's move pool just a bit. All we'll be doing is adding the incredibly solid Shore Up to its arsenal. This gives it the reliable recovery that every bulky wall dreams of. It makes sense thematically too. Almost like Probopass is culling up all the minerals in the ground like the magnet it is to heal itself. This would make Probopass an incredible bulky steel type. You would just have to look out for its fighting weakness. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you guys thought of the buffs that we had today, if any of these are good, if you have any better ideas, or if you have any Pokemon that you want me to cover next time. I'm still keeping track of the last comments in the other videos as well. I just haven't, gotten to them all yet. It's gonna take a while, but again, continue to suggest me. I'll add them to the list, and I'm really not going through them in any order. I'm just picking the ones that sound fun to me, because that's why we're making the videos, because they're fun. Thank you guys for the continued support. I really appreciate it. There should be a video on screen that you might be interested in, as well as a playlist of all our fixing the favorites episodes that we've done so far. And yeah, that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys in the next one. Later.